channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, hi and welcome. I'm Joanne. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the weekly spreads I created for my June monthly bullet journal setup. I already shared my June plan with me a couple weeks ago. I've linked it in the description below in case you missed it. And for June, I did this really beautiful like wine and grapevine theme. I'm just so happy with how it turned out. I think it feels so elegant and has that like country summer vineyard feel. In the plan with me, I shared with you guys kind of the first half of how I set it up, but I didn't share the weekly spreads because it was just getting a little bit too long. So I'm so excited for today's video. I'm going to show you all the weekly spreads that I created, and we're already halfway through the month, and I've been using these spreads a lot already. I've had so much going on, so they've been super helpful for me to plan out my days. I've also tried out some new weekly spreads in this video that I've never tried before. If you haven't seen it already, I also recently created a video showing you 10 weekly spreads you can create in under 10 minutes. I've linked it below as well. And all of the spreads in today's video that I created for my June bullet journal are from that video as well. As usual, I'll be linking all the products I use in the description below, and let's get right to it.
The first week of June only has 3 days, so I'm just going to be using one page for the first weekly spread. And I'm going to be choosing the spread that has a bar across the middle and then the days of the week below that. So I'm sketching out the layout of the 3 days. I'm using the similar aesthetic that I used in the setup for this month. So this sort of like dashed line with the rounded corners on the rectangles. And then I'm going to be drawing a bar across that, and that's where I'll be writing the days of the week. And then I decided to color in that top bar because it was looking a little bit bland. So I used this like sand color so it wasn't totally bleak. And then for the middle bar, I decided to dress it up a little bit with some more artwork. I'm adding these grapes and vines similar to what I had in the monthly theme on the cover page for this month. So yeah, just adding a little bit of artwork, and then I'll be coloring that all in and coloring in that center bar. And like I showed in the weekly spreads video, the bar goes around the like 40% mark on the page just to give a little bit more space for me to write in the boxes below. And now I'm coloring in the artwork. In order to get a sort of more three-dimensional and less like doodle looking aesthetic, I'm using 2 tones for each element. So for example, for the leaves, I used that light green color as a base, and then I added a sort of medium green in some parts of the leaves to give it a little bit more dimension. I did the same thing for the grapes and the vines, using 2 tones to give a little bit more dimension. And now I'm just adding in the days of the week, and that's the first weekly spread. For the second week and the first full week of June, since the first spread was a sort of vertical layout, I'm going to do a horizontal one now to mix it up. So I've added in the monthly calendar in the top left corner. I'll be doing that on every spread this month. And then I'm drawing 8 horizontal lines, and I'll be writing the days of the week and the date as well on those lines. And then adding some vertical artwork on either side. This is a spread that lends itself really well to vertical artwork, and you have more time to focus on the artwork because you don't have to draw any boxes or like map anything out really. All you have to do is draw those 8 lines. So I'm gonna add a wine bottle and a wine glass on the left side using the same sort of sketched out dashed line aesthetic. I'll be drawing this on the left and then some more vines on the right. And I guess I've decided to make this a red wine. Are you guys red wine or white wine people? I used to be really into red wines. I used to live in Spain for a short period when I was traveling a little bit, and I got really into red wines because the red wines in Spain are so nice. But then I kind of stopped drinking them for a while. I'm not sure why, and now whenever I drink red wine, it really gives me a headache and it like easily gives me a hangover. So now I've kind of stopped drinking red wines, and I really only drink white wines nowadays. And personally for me, like the drier the better, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer red or white, and what kind of wines do you drink? But for this spread and for this theme, I pretty much drew only red wines just because I really liked the red color. I thought the color looked more beautiful, but I have to admit I don't actually drink very many red wines myself. I'm using 2 tones once again for these branches, and this is a great trick if you want to easily elevate your artwork and make it look a lot more sophisticated and realistic without actually putting in more effort. Just use 2 different tones of the same color. Now I'm on to the third weekly spread of June. I'm going to do another vertical layout. This is one of my all-time favorite spreads. If you guys have been watching my Plan With Me's, you know that I usually include this spread every single month. I really love it because it allows a sort of like feature artwork space. And it always ends up being one of my favorite spreads every month, but this month I have to admit I actually really don't like the setup I've done. So I've done this sort of like ombre effect in the bars, which I think looks really cool but just doesn't fit this month's theme. I feel like it's too like modern or kind of cool looking, which is a really cool vibe but doesn't really fit the sort of country classic elegant aesthetic of this month. So yeah, I sort of regretted it, and then at this point I was like already sort of fed up with this spread and I didn't want to spend too much more time on it because I just really wasn't liking the way it looked. But yeah, you can see I actually haven't sketched this one out in pencil yet. I was just sort of winging it at this point because I was a little bit fed up, I have to admit. So yeah, I just drew this sort of like swing thing, and then a bunch of glasses is going to be on it, and it sort of is a similar doodle to what I did in the mood tracker page. If you saw my previous Plan With Me for this month, I did a sort of similar like hanging wooden board with the rope tied around it. So yeah, I did a similar doodle here, and then I'm just drawing a whole bunch of bottles and glasses, and then I'm going to color them in, and then that's going to be it for this page. On to the next spread. I think I really redeemed myself with this spread. I liked this one a lot better than the previous one. This is a spread that I've been wanting to try for a while, but I've actually never used before, but I'm super happy with it, and I think I'll definitely be using it again. It's really simple to set up. It's just 7 boxes, so you're basically dividing each page into quadrants, and I've already mapped out some artwork, and I just kind of add some artwork around the boxes randomly. So I've already mapped that out. I'm going to add this bar across the top of each box, and that's where I'll be writing the days of the week. So I'm coloring that in green since the previous page was purple and the previous one was brown, so this one I decided to go with green. And then I'm drawing some branches and doodles, similar artwork to what I've done already around the boxes in different places on this spread. And then I'll just be coloring that in and writing the days of the week in the green boxes that I've set up. If you're wondering or like unsure where to add your artwork in this kind of spread, I really suggest doing one that sort of like overlaps with the boxes. You can see here how it starts on the box in the top right, but then it kind of crosses over in front of the other boxes, and I think this is a good trick for sort of integrating the artwork with the weekly spread, making it look a little bit more sophisticated. I'm highlighting the week in the similar color as the theme for this spread, and then I'm using a cursive font to write in the days of the week. The previous spread was a block letter font, so I'm mixing it up by using a cursive font in this one. And for the last week of June, it's only 6 days, so I'm using another spread that I haven't tried before but really wanted to try, and I think this is a really easy way to add some interest because it's literally just 6 boxes, which we've already done before, but you just stagger them. So you're drawing 3 on each page but staggered, and I think this gives a really cool look, so I wanted to try this out. And I'm gonna do something kind of similar to the very first weekly spread, the one that only had 3 days, because I really liked the aesthetic of that one and how that one turned out. And I thought that was a good way to sort of tie it together too by finishing off with a similar spread. I actually managed to mess up. You can see I've covered the days, and this is already my second time writing them in. Yeah, it's kind of unreal that after so many months of doing these Plan With Me's, I still managed to mess it up pretty much once a month on average. So yeah, that was really annoying. But once I fixed that, I'm adding this quote that I thought was kind of fun and is a good way to end up this month's theme, I think. So I'm doing another ombre effect here. I guess I hadn't had enough of the ombre even after the other spread that I didn't like. And then I'm adding some similar artwork to my mood tracker page again with the variety of bottles and glasses on a shelf, and then also added some more like vines and leaves hanging off that shelf. And then I just colored that in to finish off this weekly spread. And here is the final and full flip through of my June plan with me and my June setup. I'm so in love with this theme. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my June plan with me where I showed how I set up the first half of this monthly theme. But yeah, I'm so happy with all these weekly spreads, and I would love to know which one's your favorite.
And that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me set up all the weekly spreads for my June plan with me. It turned out so beautiful, and I'm just super happy with all the spreads. And since we're already halfway into June, and I've really been using my bullet journal a lot more than usual this month, and I think having the really beautiful aesthetic has motivated me to spend more time in my journal. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.